Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And we are with one of my favorite social media stars, and we are here with Fossil Daddy. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. I have loved I want to say over the years, I don't know if it's years or just year, but it's been a little while where I've just been able to see you and you pop up everywhere. I don't care if it's TikTok, it's Instagram, Twitter, you are there.
I am.
But you've kind of figured it out. Well, what's unique, even before jumping into that, what's unique is that you really found this great niche. I would say where you kind of you push yourself out there. You call them educational thirst traps. So you're there, you're bare chested, and people are looking, going, "What is this all about?" And you're a fossil hunter.
I am actually paleontologist, but
Ah,
I
that's
do a
the
lot of fossil hunting recreationally too.
Well, tell us about that. Like, how did you get started with all that?
I'd have to go back to December 28th, 1998 for that. I can actually put a specific date on it because it was 3 days after Christmas. I had reached Mount Moon on Pokemon Blue, and I collected the Helix fossil from the Super Nerd after I beat him up
Yeah.
and stole his fossil. But anyway, you revive that fossil into a Pokemon later in the game, and the Helix fossil, if you pick that, becomes the Pokemon Ammonite.
Yeah.
And when I tied that into the real life or the real world counterparts of ammonite fossils, it just kind of snowballed. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to learn more about ammonites, and then I wanted to learn more about trilobites because Kabuto, and then Aerodactyl based off of a pterosaur. So I needed to learn more about pterosaurs. It just kind of snowballed into a into an obsession that I think my parents got very tired of pretty quickly, but I never outgrew it. So
I love that story. I know that you're not the only one in that. I could even say personally, I'm from LA originally, and LA is built on this thing with a lot of sedentary rock. And we would go
right.
on field trips as kids, and we would go through some of the sedentary rocks and find it wasn't anything that old, but it was there was a lot of let's just call middle-aged fossils that you'd find out in these
Yes.
parts. And I
So
loved that as a kid.
I get a lot of people from California that message me and ask me where they can go find fossils in California, and they asked if I've been there, and I have been there. But it's like I tell them the fossils of California are not old enough for me. Like I like them much older. So Shark Hill is actually a really good place to find shark teeth. So
Wow. Well, it's
yeah.
interesting. I moved from LA, moved to New York, and now I live in Pennsylvania. And I'm
Oh, I
seeing
love.
that a lot of your posts that you're constantly in Pennsylvania in your
I
fossil hunt.
am. So I've actually been studying the fossils of Centralia, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the story of Centralia, but it's been
Oh
on
no.
fire for, yeah. So it's a ghost town,
Okay.
and it's been on fire for like 60 years,
Yeah.
because of the coal seams catching fire 60 years ago when they tried to burn some debris or trash, and they weren't careful enough about it, and now the whole town's just obliterated. So, but you can find amazing fossils there. So,
Yeah. Yeah. But what's interesting is that you bring all this to light, and then,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just you're the perfect age for this and all that. Where it seems like all of the social media, and it ranges from Twitter on to TikTok, and the videos you create, it just seems like you're a natural at this.
Thank you. Yeah, so I started making TikTok videos about paleontology. This was before I even showed my face on Instagram.
Yeah.
Um, and it did really well for a while, but now I'm trying to branch off into other forms of social media, like long form videos on YouTube, which
Yeah.
are a lot more work, but I feel like they're more worthwhile. So
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I loved watching a couple of your shows where it seems the TikTokers are going a little crazy on you now.
yeah, so like one reason why I stepped back from TikTok is because they started showing my content to creationists. And I don't know if you know how the TikTok algorithm works, but when a certain demographic comments on your videos, they start showing more of your videos to those people. So as much as people loved what I was doing, they wouldn't always comment on what I was doing, but it was always the creationists who were triggered by what I was doing, being a brown gay man talking about deep time. They were the ones that commented the most. So TikTok's algorithm was like, oh, they're engaging. Let's show his content to creationists and religious zealots
Yeah. Yeah.
specifically. So yeah, it just my content started to kind of devolve into me actually sharing educational information to just me clapping back at creationists.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, but it's also not really conducive to what I'm trying to do, so it's just more of a time waster. So yeah, I stepped back from TikTok and I started making YouTube videos, and I think it's going a little bit better because I'm starting to like build a community of people who are actually interested in what I do instead of trying to argue with what I do.
Yeah, yeah. My number one thing I tell, whether it's friends, clients, or anything, and it's hard, it's is that whenever the crazies start commenting like that, I tell them just ignore it, because the thing is, the moment you engage with it, that's when you give it life. And unfortunately, that's
Yeah.
probably what happened. You thought, oh, this is going to be a little fun, and next thing you know, it gave it life, and then everyone started to see it.
Yeah, that's precisely what happened. I should have just disengaged right from the moment, but like got the better of myself.
But no, it's I think interesting. And when I said you were really, the gamut of social media, I noticed on your Patreon channel or page that you focus on content even on Discord as well.
Yeah. So I have a Discord of over 500 members, and like it doesn't matter how you support me. If you support me from sponsoring a fossil hunt on my website, or becoming a patron, or becoming a subscriber on Instagram or Twitter, I share my Discord link. So that means like 500 plus people have decided to support me one way or another. So why not build up a community with that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's extremely active. Like I think from this morning, like a couple of the forums on my Discord are like way down there. I'd have to like scroll all the way up just to keep up with what everyone's talking about. So
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
Well, it's cool. And then in the real world, I noticed that you're organizing a hike in Colorado as well. So like you're really branching out there.
Yeah, so I might actually have to cancel that, unfortunately, but I am going to reschedule. Just, something kind of came up with my personal life, and it's happening at that same time that I was planning. So there's no way for me to reschedule. So
Yeah.
this particular event that I can't really talk about. So
Well, I love the idea though. The idea of being
thank
able
you.
to kind of take what you're doing. I always think it's what intrigues me is whenever there's someone creating a business model in the online space and then leverages or works backwards from there. Everybody always thinks you're in the real world, then you create an online site, and but when you go the other direction, it's always fascinating because it's a whole different group of people, and
Right.
I think it's a different experience as well.
Absolutely. So like hopefully I can get there one day where I can actually take people on fossil hunting tours, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to establish a few hikes, kind of get my feel for it, and then work with maybe some quarries that wouldn't mind having some, visitors. It's a complicated topic. People want to go fossil hunting with me all the time, but
Wow.
getting access to these locations is very political and very complicated. So,
Interesting. In the meantime, they can pick up your Fossil Daddy merch.
exactly. Or sponsor a fossil hunt and I send a fossil in return. So
Exactly. Well, that intrigues me. So I love all of that. And so, just mostly, I'm just really glad you were able to take a few moments of your time and kind of share a bit of your story here with our audience.
yeah, I mean, it's my day off, so I have nothing but time today.
Perfect. One of these days, maybe when you're coming to Pennsylvania on a fossil hunt, maybe I'll try to figure out where Centralia is and meet you for coffee somewhere.
Yeah, so it's pretty much central Pennsylvania, therefore the name Centralia. It actually used to
Exactly.
be Centerville, but there was already a Centerville, Pennsylvania, so they renamed it Centralia.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks so much, and look forward to being able to connect in the real world.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Take care now.
You as well. Bye.
So good.